Gospel of Luke. Woe to you, for you build the tombs of the prophets whom your ancestors killed. So you are witnesses and approve of the deeds of your ancestors. For they killed them, and you build their tombs. Therefore, also the wisdom of God said, I will send them prophets and apostles, some of whom they will kill and persecute, so that this generation may be charged with the blood of all the prophets shed since the foundation of the world, from the blood of Abel to the blood of Zechariah, who perished between the altar and the sanctuary. Yes, I tell you, it will be charged against this generation. Woe to you lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. You did not enter yourselves, and you hindered those who were entering. When he went outside, the scribes and the Pharisees began to be very hostile toward him, and to cross-examine him about many things, lying in wait for him to catch him in something he might say. The Gospel of the Lord.
The Gospel of Luke today follows on from where we left it yesterday. We continue to hear Jesus' harsh and condemning statements, and it's not an uplifting read. A frustrated and angry Jesus carries on reprimanding and rebelling against the hypocrisy and the lip service of the Pharisees and of the teachers of the law. Jesus chooses a word that is powerful and unequivocal. Woe to you, Pharisees! Woe to you, the teachers of the law, he says. I searched and have found a number of its synonyms. Misery, sorrow, distress, sadness, desolation, gloom, misfortune, disaster, affliction, suffering, hardship, pain, agony, grief, torment, and so many more. Not a bright prospect, and surely not a type of appreciation they might have been hoping for from Jesus, for the work and ministry they were providing. So why is that? Why this harsh judgment and the choice of unforgiving and merciless criticism? Well, because those who were meant to lead with love, to care for and teach the people of God, were instead searching for their own honors and glory, neglecting justice and the love of God, despising the poor and the lowly. We've heard how Jesus decisively rebels against it and refuses to tolerate the following. These false religious leaders who, instead of feeding the flock, feed themselves. They greedy hearts. You are full of robbery and wickedness, he says. They superficial service, which puts on display the facade, the public image of their religious commitment. It is not an authentic ministry. Their love of self-glory. Instead of serving out of a desire to see God glorified, they search for the glory for themselves. Their defiling and condescending mindset. Their false message. They thought salvation was obtainable through adherence to the law, dependent on one's obedience, or salvation is a gift, a grace, freely given by God. It cannot be earned by anyone. And then Jesus adds to what else he will not tolerate, their rejection of the truth. The problem is that their building and adorning of the prophets' tombs was yet another example of their hypocrisy. They adorned the tombs of the prophets as if to say, well, we would have listened to those prophets, we would not kill them. Jesus knows their hearts and knows it is not so. And to prove it, he even prophesizing, saying, I will send them apostles and prophets, some of whom they will kill and prosecute. They build their tombs by reject their messages. They will face punishment for that. And lastly, Jesus adds another very strong condemnation. Woe to you, lawyers, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. Not only did they not enter themselves, but they kept others from entering the kingdom of heaven. Could there be anything worse? The prophets worked towards a greater fulfillment of God's plan and spoke to help others to find the truth. The scribes, however, ignored the messages from the prophets. Rather, they distorted God's word, as well as failed to practice the very words they had preached. By neglecting their proper duties, Jesus charges them with taking away the key of knowledge, a very strong accusation. Scriptures tell us about the prophets and martyrs in the past, and we hear Jesus' words and teaching. Are their struggles and messages still remembered, honored? And who are the prophets and martyrs of today? Do we support their struggles? And who are those holding the key of knowledge today? Are you? Do you uphold God's truth and make it accessible to others? I invite you to take a moment today to ponder on these questions and listen in your heart to what the Spirit might say. Because, and I repeat after Dalai Lama, when you talk, you are only repeating what you already know. But if you listen, you may learn something new. Have a blessed day.